past the southern tip of Africa, all the way from Holland to Jakarta in the east to trade in spices. Now this journey normally used to take them up to 3 months. And halfway through this journey, these sailors on the ships will become ill, their teeth will start to fall out, they will become scurvy, because they were literally eating pork that was cured in a barrel, biscuits and other non-protein. So what they needed was fresh fruit and vegetables. So then this company decided to station a halfway point right at the southern tip of Africa to do a garden layout of a French design with linear accesses. So you can walk up, horizontal, vertical, to foresee these passing ships with fresh produce. But not only was this a immense productive garden, fast forward to the 1780s, it was known as the most beautiful garden in the world. So today it's known as Company Gardens of the Cape.
Yeah, Company Gardens.
So about 40 years after the establishment of the Cape, 1692, this piece of land, which was known as Babylonstoren, then was granted to its first owner, a guy by the name Peter van der Bijl. So we don't know exactly where Peter stood on the farm, but he had a peek at this little hill here in front of us. And this hill reminded him of a story in the Bible, where people tried to build a tower they're going to reach as heaven, and then God created dispersion of languages in order to stop them. So this happened in Babel. So they called it the Tower of Babel. Then he named the farm Babylon's Tower, today known as Babylonstoren. Okay.
葡萄的味道，蓝莓的样子。
They took a 4-hectare piece of land and they planted with over 300 different fruit and vegetable species. About 90% what is grown in our garden, it's edible. Okay, and this was designed by a well-known landscape architect as well as a family friend, a Frenchman by the name Patrice Terravella. Now after the establishment of the garden, the owners, they wanted to welcome guests and people to come and experience the garden, but as well as to come and enjoy the produce that the garden delivers. So they took an old cow shed, which is the second building after the flat roof building, and they converted it into a restaurant today known as Babel. So if you visit Babel restaurant, you'll still see the water troughs where the cows used to drink out of. We are a public garden. We do daily guided tours. We are the second most visiting garden in the country after Kirstenbosch Botanical Gardens in Cape Town. Now, with the whole garden story, Babylonstoren then started to grow organically. By meaning, if people come to experience our garden, enjoy our restaurant, they might want to stay over. So, we took the workers' cottages, relocated the workers across the road and turned it into a farm hotel. We also said one day we've got our own vineyard, so let's build our cellar and start producing wine. So we grew. Mampoer. You can basically do it with any kinds of fruit. I don't think you can do it with banana, but you do it with stone fruits such as plums and peaches. We also do it with the blood orange, Mampoer. Now this is our a yellow plum, Mampoer. Smells like. You can smell it. And it's got about 40%, about 40% alcohol. Yeah, and we also do what we call the blood orange Mampoer. That is made from the blood orange. So now I would just like to explain you how we do red wine. Okay, so now the red wine, we bring the whole setup which is outside to the inside. The only thing is here we don't use the press. We bring in a crusher, which is basically 2 rollers that runs together. So no matter if the berry is green or red, the juice are white. So when the red wine, to get the color red, you need to keep the black skin with the juice. Okay. So these first of all are some main tanks. You won't find it in any modern cellar. We wanted in our cellar to show people what it was like 2,000 years ago in the road. About 6,000 years ago they started making wine out of the clay pots. 4,000 years later they moved to cement tanks. Okay, so here we have much more modern technology involved. So as the skin and the juice gets pumped in here, we add a yeast and then we set the temperature between 24 and 28 degrees Celsius. Remember, white wine is 40 to 80, so it's lower temperature. And here we do open fermentation. Reason why? Because of safety. What happens when you do closed fermentation in a very high heated environment? You deal with carbon dioxide, which builds up pressure. So what happens is, as pressure builds up in a condensed place, which is tight, boom, it explodes. So here we do open fermentation because of the temperature which is set so high. So as you set the temperature, you add a yeast. Now what happens when you add a yeast? The skin rises to the top and it forms what we call a skin cake. Now, as I said, the juice are white. Now you need to mix the skin with the juice to extract the color red. So we can either do it with a mechanical blender, which is the apparatus standing there at the far end, or you can plug in a hose at the bottom, let it heat over the top, so that the free running juice can get in contact with the skin. Other than that, you can take a fork, call this a fork, and then we just literally stick it into the skin. And we'll do a punch down, which we will form between 20 and 40 minutes, 4 times a day.
4 times.
To extract the color red.
So every day for how many days?
For 5 to 7 days.
Oh.
And after that 5 to 7 days, then we separate the wine and the skin. So what happens with the skin? Behind you in the middle, the machine in the middle is called a basket press. We put the skin in there, and then we get rid of the last bit of juice out of the skin, which is known as tannins, dry wine. And then we add it to the juice, which is waiting down in the barrel cellar to be put into the barrel. Has been made from terracotta clay. But when we're going to go to now, there's more of these to see. Then I'll give you more detail about this. Okay?
How old is this?
This is relatively new to the farm. Okay? But this is a division that goes way back about 6,000 years ago. Okay? Clearly expresses the fruit characteristics as well as the terroir of the wine. Have you ever tasted wine which has a little bit of an earthiness or dustiness as a finish? It is once you ferment wine cement. So how does the fermentation process work? Inside is a heated coil. And as soon as the heat and the carbon dioxide comes in contact with each other, it creates a vortex. And once the vortex creates, it picks up the yeast from the bottom and consistently mixes it with the juice, extracting a lot of flavors out of the wine and exactly out of the yeast. Two types of oak, French oak and Austrian oak. So the two on both sides, on either side, are French oak. The ones on the outer side are Austrian oak. So French oak mainly used for Shiraz, Cabernet Sauvignon. Austrian oak mainly for Merlot. Okay, or white wine grape varieties, Chardonnay or Viognier. The difference between the food the 500 and 300 liters is not necessarily the capacity, but also the wood. This wood, it is cut with the grain. Okay? Where this wood are loose puzzle pieces. It's puzzled together. So if you put wine in here, we're talking about a lot of juice with less wood contact. Where with this, is less juice, more wood contact. So much more subtle taste, much more intense taste. So that's why you always will take this and then you blend it with what is in here to balance it out evenly. Okay? You won't take this and then put it in the bottle. You won't take this and put it in the bottle. You blend it out so you get it evenly. Okay? Good. Yeah, so that the wine can run between the wood. Yeah.
今天品尝的10种酒，在中间摆这个10种食物，它有相当于酒配菜，这个配菜有瓜，有这个夏威夷。
美景啊，太幸福了人生。